We are live. We are live. We are live. This is breaking news, guys. Everything I called was completely right. If you guys missed it about 1 month ago, I told you guys to pay very close attention to crypto, mainly because I was simply following the signs, following the money, they call it. And I'm going to give you guys the actual keys on what to know or what to pay attention to in 2025. This does apply to us as musicians and music producers and artists because this is how people spend money with us. This is how we create our own products. This is how we can gain money to then invest in our craft. If you don't understand the resources, you can't. If you don't understand the substance, you can't create the greater structure. So Domo's here in the chat. What up? So we're gonna get today rocking. I just had to let everyone know. So if you don't know, Trump has officially announced a U.S. crypto reserve focused on XRP, Sol, Cardano, I believe ADA is, which means Bitcoin by proxy, like meaning that Bitcoin's going to go up. So again, why is this important? I told you guys let me think. This is a month ago, but I definitely told you guys even back in January when we were talking about all this stuff about the Trump coin, about TikTok being banned, how this would all play out. And we see it in real time. So today is that day. Yeah, January 19th, 2025. So 2 months ago almost, I told you guys to pay attention. And yeah, we're going to get into it. So here's the key points for today is that Trump has initiated the creation of a strategic crypto reserve in the U.S. when announced today. That includes Bitcoin, which is kind of like the S&P 500 of crypto. It's just if everything else goes up, crypto chances are is going to go up. Okay. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and Cardano. It says the reserve aims to position the U.S. as the crypto capital of the world, with the process ongoing under a January executive order. Okay. And it says prices of mentioned cryptocurrency spiked following the announcement. So this is the crazy news. And this is how crazy the world can be in a flash, in a blink of an eye. Let me show you guys the charts real quick to give you some motivation here. So you guys knew back in the pandemic, Bitcoin went crazy because everybody's at home. They're looking for a way to get rich, and it just got the masses involved. Let me open up the chat real quick. Let me show you guys on the screen. We got Domo here. We got Jalen here. Tim is here. What up? I can't read that name. Zoom Beats. What up? The Magnum Group is here. Salute to you. D's Nuts. Doge prediction. Doge isn't. I don't think it's backed by anything. So I think it's more of a meme coin than an actual like utility. For that reason, I don't mess with stuff that's like meme coins. Singular Curtains is here. What up? We got Singular in here. We got how you say it? D1 Mas Playa. I think Playa means beach, right? So yeah, I'm about to show you guys a chart for Bitcoin. So if you are a Bitcoin holder, you better go check your crypto wallets. You better go check your portfolios today because it just went. I'm looking for a nice chart. These charts aren't the greatest to look at. Let me find a nicer chart than this. Let's just go to Google, look up Bitcoin chart. Oh, Coin Market Cap. Duh. Let's go to Coin Market. I was on TradingView, which is a little more advanced for the average person. Okay, so here's a good chart you guys could look at. You should be able to see the chart, not my desktop. Cool. So again, I'll explain why this is all important to music because it goes back to my video I made way back in January. So Bitcoin overnight went from 86K all the way up to 94K currently, which does it give us a daily percentage? Let me see if it gives us a number here, which is, I don't know the percentage off the top of my head. Let me see if I could figure this out. I don't know how to use this chart. Where's the daily number? I don't know. Oh, here it is, 10%. So Bitcoin overnight just went up 10%. Okay. Now this is just Bitcoin. If you don't know how crypto works, basically Bitcoin is the top of the pyramid. Then it's Ethereum. Then it's, XRP currently. And then it's everything else. Okay. So it's basically Bitcoin is the only currency that people understand for the most part. Then you have all these other currencies. And the reason this is so important is because of what's called the fear to greed index. So I'm going to put you guys on because if you don't understand this now, you're not going to really have a great music career at all. You have to understand how money works. Let me see here. Let me pull up something real quick for you guys. The freak was I looking up? Oh, CNN. So something you want to always check is the CNN Fear and Greed Index. So if you guys don't keep up with the markets, I understand. It seems more complicated when you're a beginner, but all you guys got to do is grab Robinhood. Like if there's one app you need to get, it's Robinhood. It makes investing so fun. It's the best app for investing because it's super visual. There's so many people with it. Okay, so here we go. All right, let's read the chat for the skeptics in the room. Let's see here. I feel like Elon is killing it, literally downhill since him and Trump. Literally, oh, killing it, literally. I thought you meant killing it as a good thing. I think Elon's getting stuff done. Here's something that we have to always remember is one, I don't vote. So I have no care about anybody's political opinions. I actually love talking about politics and religion and everything else people tell me not to talk about. I talk about it. Like, why not? You're going to tell me what you're going to try to control my life. So not you guys. I'm talking about like anybody who tries to pressure me about stuff. So yeah, you guys should feel, if you lean one way or the other, be proud about it. Don't let people tell you what to do. That's slavery. Okay. So anyhow, Elon is killing it. So basically with Elon and Trump, one thing I do have to say objectively about Trump, people hate him. People love him. I think he's motivational as a business person. Okay. I don't know about politics. I'm not the most politically smart person. So my point is Trump, when he became president, stuff you see every day, what's happening. When other people were president, I don't know what's happening today. It just stuff pops up. It's like, oh, we're at war again with another country that we shouldn't be at war with. Oh, we just bombed this. Oh no, the Iranian, freaking general, whatever, just died magically on a plane crash. It's like all this crazy stuff going on behind the scenes. And I was like, I felt so uninformed as an American. When Trump was in office, I knew about everything. Every single day I knew what was happening. He signed this, executive order this changed, cutting jobs here. Like, at least I know what's happening. And one thing I will say that they are, not only are they making changes, whether good or bad, they signal the change properly. They communicate it properly. And that's the craziest part about that duo. So whether you hate him or love him, that's something that you guys should look for as a trait, as a leader. Okay, so let's read you guys' opinion so far. You think Elon's killing the government? Singular says, not a fan of Trump, but I'm intrigued to hear about it. Steven says, to be honest, Elon should have not been in the government at all. Well, I guess are you guys invested in Tesla? Because that stock is like flopping right now. Elon is definitely killing it in a bad way. This has nothing to do with Beats. Yes, it does. One jet. Because where do you think the money comes from to pay for your Beats? If you don't know how to follow the money, for example, the person that pays for your beat got their money from what? A job. So that means a company has to exist for the job to exist for you to even get paid. You don't get paid based on nothingness. You get paid based on how money flows. For example, if you don't understand the M2 money supply, let me pull that back up. Let me find a chart here. Give me a second. There's something called the M1 and M2 money supply. And so think of it this way. Like you guys do type beats. If nobody's searching up future type beats, why would you make type beats? The same thing with money. It's like if the money is not being, spent. Hold on, let me find it here. M1 money supply. If the money's not being spent, there's no money to get. Okay, so if you don't know where we are in the market and you're sitting there working harder and harder and harder, but people are spending less and less and less, you don't understand like how to work on your business, and you could blow your business up that way. So let me see. I'm trying to look for a good chart for the M2 and M1 money supply. Give me a second here, y'all. All right, so here's the M1 money supply. Think of M1. Now, there's a lot of history behind this, and I'm on to nothing. Y'all are so emotional. That's why you're broke. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start back at March 2020. And what happened in March 2020? They printed a bunch of money. This is called the M1 money supply, the money that we could actually transact with each other. So a lot of you built businesses in 2020. You thought you were doing good in business, but it was actually because the M1 money supply was 6x'd in a matter of months. Okay, so we went from 4 trillion all the way up to 20 trillion in a matter of 2 years. Why? Like, that's $16 trillion being printed. That money's going to move around. Okay, so it's like traffic to your type beat. So you're thinking that you're doing good in business, but in reality, it's just because Todd from Ohio just had extra money lying around. It's not because he wanted your beat. It's because he's like, let me take a chance because I got all this extra money now. I'm just going to buy a beat, try to get rich and wealthy, buy a lottery ticket type of thing. So you have to understand, like, how does our greater economy work? Because it ties to your micro economy. You're a small business, okay? The small business is, an effect of the bigger business, the bigger market. And the bigger market is an effect of how the Fed moves and how the government moves. So you have to understand what's before you, because if you don't understand what's before you, you're going to get crushed trying to do stuff that you shouldn't be doing. So let's go back to why this is important for today, and then I'll get back to you guys' reactions here. So it says, it seems like Trump has initiated the creation of a strategic crypto reserve in the U.S. And if you guys kept up with the symbolism over the last couple of days, you saw that Trump just basically left the UN and the let me go to his page real quick. NATO, okay? NATO and the UN. So people who understand marketing and have businesses, you understand how marketing works. You don't just drop a product. You build a marketing campaign up to dropping the product. Okay, so if you kept really, really close attention, guys, this is why I tell you guys to follow the money. Who is moving stuff? The money is being moved. If you guys don't keep up with the market of type beats to know that it's at an all-time high, if you didn't know that Future type beat is one of the top searched things, an R&B type beat, but you're still trying to make Kendrick Lamar type beats, this is what I mean. People aren't following the money. Okay. Hold on, let me pull up. Here it is. Okay, so now why is this symbol important? 19 hours ago, the White House just posted the Declaration of Independence was written in English. And then they also said, designating English as the official language of the United States. Okay, after, right? This is all after the Zelensky appearance at the White House. This is all symbolic because what they're trying to do is say Trump's whole mission, it seems like, is to get rid of the shadow government. Okay. You can follow Alex Jones for all the details. I'm not a master at understanding that. But basically, our government, the way America is set up is that it takes our taxpayer dollars and it gives it to other crooks around the world because they've created infestation of our government. Like you guys saw how Doge was finding stuff to $500 million for coffee cups and $50 billion to this unknown organization and 60 trillion, it's like a crazy amount of money going around the world because what foreigners do in America, because we have so much money and so many tax paying people, they'll come in here, infiltrate, set up policy to then extract the money out of America. And so what Trump and Elon are doing, whether you hate it or not, is finding all the people who are doing this behind the scenes. And they're basically removing the people out of the cookie jar, okay, getting their hands out the cookie jar. And so when Zelensky appeared at the White House, this was symbolic to me. It has nothing to do with war, in my opinion, which it does. I'm sure it has something to do with that, and minerals and resources and all that. But what it really symbolized is that America's not going to keep, these countries just sucking on the teat of America. Like, we're not going to be just sacrificing ourselves for somebody else anymore because there's so many leeches from America. So this was all done just one day ago. America even symbolically declares independence. Why is that important? Because literally today, now we're going to focus America on this symbolism of independence, which is crypto, because crypto is not owned by one bank. It's not owned by the Fed. It's not owned by any one entity. And that's what makes it so important. It's decentralized. So right here, let me find the tweet. Let me find it, y'all. Give me a second. What's today? March 2nd. All right, so crypto represents an independence. And as we see right here, which was one of Trump's promises to the crypto market before he became president. What up, CG? CG put me on to, he said, just hop into crypto. He's like, I don't care what you do, just hop into crypto. And he gave me more confidence to invest back in crypto. Because crypto, for me, I felt a little salty about it because I thought it was the run was over. I was like, dang, how much more marketing can crypto get outside of the pandemic when everybody's home? They have an extra $1,200. They have nothing else to do but try to get rich. I was like, how can you get a better market than that? And I didn't think crypto would come back from that bull run, the bear market, pardon me, which it did, which is crazy to think that it did. So anyway, you guys should be stacking up Bitcoin at the least. Anything outside of Bitcoin is hard to recommend because, and this is not financial advice. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a, accountant with fiduciary responsibility. I'm just telling you what I invest in. Okay, so I have a little Bitcoin. I'd say you guys want to probably look at 5% or less of your portfolio, meaning if you have $1,000, you're only going to put 50 into Bitcoin. You're not going to put $500 into Bitcoin and YOLO like a dummy. Okay. But I will say that because of the political environment, now we're getting more support for trusting in these cryptos. And I'm not telling you what to do. Okay. So anyway, today is so important because President Trump announces he's created a crypto strategic reserve. I'm going to read this word for word from his, I believe the Truth Social is where he posts this stuff. All right. From Real Donald Trump, it says a U.S. crypto reserve will elevate this critical industry after years of corrupt attacks by the Biden administration, which is why my executive order on digital assets directed the Presidential Working Group to move forward on a crypto strategic reserve that includes XRP, which is a crypto coin, Solana, which is SOL, and I believe Cardano is ADA. I will make sure the U.S. is the crypto capital of the world. We are making America great again. So why is this messaging important? It's because you guys have seen the messaging that America's falling. Once we started messing with Iran and started dabbling with the Ukraine and all this type of stuff, people are like, is America falling? Is the empire over? Because we printed so much money back in 2020. Here's the simple part of business, supply and demand. If you have a high supply of money and no demand for it, then the value of the money dissipates. And that's why we see crazy inflation today. It's because they literally printed how many trillions? So we're at $16 trillion were printed from, if I'm getting this math right, from March 2020 to about March in 2 years, $16 trillion. To give you guys an example, the entire M1 money supply has been below 1 trillion since, let me get the exact date here for you. Since 1993, we've been under 1 trillion. Now we're at 20 trillion, okay, in a matter of 2 years, when the highest value was 4 trillion. Okay, so I don't even know how many, 5x'd the money supply. That means any dollar you had in your bank account that was just sitting there dying and rotting away literally became worth less and less and less and less. That's why your eggs cost like $6 per carton. That's why your milk is going crazy. That's why auto insurance is going up. It's because the money that you have is worth less, which means they have to charge more to retain the same value. So anybody with an asset, meaning like a stock or, a Moog keyboard, whatever your asset is, anybody with assets, their asset raised in value. But the problem is people like yourself who want to buy your first home off of music money and you want to just build this career and, buy your first car. It's half impossible to do it because inflation has raised the value of those things so much that it's impossible for a starter to even get in the market. So you see a lot of old people in the boomer industry, the boomer age bracket, they're holding on to their real estate. Yeah, they probably bought their real estate for $50,000 back in 1960. The thing's worth $1 million right now. Who in the world can afford $1 million house for like a small, less than 1,500 square foot house? Nobody. And so that's the problem we have in America because of this printed money. So what I'm saying is that because the dollar is being questioned, and you saw BRICS, for example, the BRICS nations. Let me look up BRICS. I think it's Brazil. Let me find the countries here. So you saw recently the BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates. Now, what did we do with Iran? You saw a bunch of crazy stuff happen where magically people are, the leaders are crashing in helicopters magically. Real quick, CG says Bitcoin will hit 130K in a couple months. And when Bitcoin dominance drops, alts will rally. And what he means is like this. It's all supply and demand. So if I have, a high demand for Bitcoin right now, the price will go up because Bitcoin is a limited supply. Now, it will get to a point where supply and demand kind of even out. Okay, so that's what he means by calling a top, like 130, for example, calling out a number. So when it hits a top, metaphorically speaking, people will look for the next thing that will go up based on the same demand. People want to get into Bitcoin, they just can't because now the supply and demand are evened out. So they look for what are called altcoins, like Ethereum. Like I mentioned before, let me show you guys the coins to get to know. Let me zoom out a little bit. So like Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, these are in the top 10 because that's what people buy. Cardano, Dogecoin is a meme coin, so be careful with that. And Chainlink apparently is like the foundation of the architecture, but nobody even talks about Chainlink like that. So they're like the top 10 cryptos for a reason. But the thing is, when Bitcoin goes down 1%, Ethereum could go down 10%. XRP could go down 20%. So you got to be careful in the volatility, how far of a swing these things can have. I'm not giving you guys investing advice, but basically if you buy $100 of Ethereum, let's say, it goes down to 50%. Now you're at $50 worth of Ethereum. It'd be smarter to buy again $200 of Ethereum, because now when it goes back up $50 to, what was it? What did I say? 50%? When it goes back up $50 back to 100 or whatever the price I said was, I forgot that fast. Then you will basically balance out the fact that you had a loss. Okay, so that's how you have to think of it, is repositioning your portfolio. I don't know the exact term for it. What up, the artist? But it's basically like you want to get stuff while it's low to balance out when you actually bought when it was too high. So anyway, that's the point of crypto, is to kind of have these huge swings. So let me clear my throat real quick, guys. I just got to cough real quick. Hold on 1 second. Hold up. Dang, my water's over there. There's so much to tell y'all. I didn't realize this would become a masterclass. It's like that. But yeah, I want to thank CG because he put me on to this information many, many months ago. All right. So, okay, what do you guys need to follow? Why is this important to music? Let's tie it back to music, because again, you don't get paid if people don't have money to pay you. If you don't know the greater marketing forces, you may think you're doing something wrong. If you thought you were just the greatest entrepreneur of March of 2020, meanwhile, it's just because the president printed $16 trillion. You thought you were onto something, but you had no business skills at all. It's just because people had excess money. And money goes where capital flows, where it gets the greatest return. So if you're poor with money, if you don't know how to, manage your money at home, it will move to somebody who can manage the money. Meaning if I got $1,000 right here and I had no financial education and I just went to buy Gucci shoes. Well, Gucci as a business, Gucci knows how to create value. Gucci probably knows how to reinvest those dollars back into the market, for example. So the money that was given to me by a corporation as a paycheck, let's say, is now going right back to somebody else who can manage the money better than me. And that's how money flows. So the key is to follow the money. Okay. So who do you follow in these times? Here's the organization. It's called World Liberty Fi. It says white lists are open. So I believe World Liberty Fi, let me get a more proper definition for it here. Let me ask Grok to define World Liberty Fi real quick so I can give you guys a proper introduction, because I don't want to misspeak about the owners or anything. So let me ask Grok to clarify something. So Grok says, what is World Liberty Financial, which is a company? World Liberty Financial is a decentralized finance platform tied to former U.S. President Donald Trump and his family. Follow the money. He's the president of the United States right now. Launched in late 2024, it aims to provide a blockchain-based financial ecosystem focused on empowering users through cryptocurrency tools, with a stated mission of enhancing financial freedom and supporting the U.S. dollar's dominance via stablecoins. Okay. Simple explanation, what it does, World Liberty Fi is a crypto project that offers tools for investing and lending. So basically, Trump is associated with this project. Okay, that's the short answer that you guys need to understand, because what did I retweet to you guys? This is why you guys got to follow me on Twitter if you really want to keep up with like my modern thoughts. Back in, what was this? January 20th, which was, let me see. I believe I went live January 19th. Yeah, I went live January 19th and I told you guys this information. Okay, so on January 19th, 2025, the day before the inauguration, I told you guys what was about to go down about Trump, the Trump coin, TikTok, and all this type of stuff. That's what I told you back in January 19th. Now, January 20th, which is Trump's company or associated company, says this: to commemorate the inauguration of Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States, World Liberty Fi is proud to announce the following strategic purchases today. Very keyword strategic. That was a little hint back in January 20th, because remember, Donald Trump had promised that crypto would be brought back to America and be the crypto capital of the world. Some of the ideas floating around at that time were some of the ideas floating around at the time were that Trump would create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And again, what it does is it shifts America's narrative away from being highly inflation money, meaning the money burns as soon as we print it, to now let's move to crypto, where there's a limited supply of the crypto, meaning we're now owning something that was decentralized, bringing the narrative to America as being a super wealthy country. Okay, even though we don't technically control ETH and Bitcoin and all this. So anyhow, they bought $47 million of Ethereum, $47 million of wrapped Bitcoin, $47 million, or excuse me, I read that wrong. $4.7 million of Aave, 4.7 million of Chainlink. So what did I do this day? Bought Chainlink, I bought ETH, and I bought Bitcoin. I don't know what Aave is, so that's why I stayed away from it. I don't know what TRX is, and I don't know what ENA is, so I didn't really mess with those. But I followed exactly what they just said that they did. Why? Because this is the most informed people in our nation doing something. Why wouldn't you follow what they do? If you want success, you got to follow success. You got to do what the successful people do. And now we see the fruits of this coming back. How many months? Almost a month and some change after that move. So if there's one place to follow, it's this company here, because they tell you what they're doing. Like, it's very clear. They tell you what they're doing. At least on that move there. So let me show you guys something else too. Here's something you guys want to acclimate yourself with. It's called the Fear and Greed Index. This is referring to stocks from CNN. This one's referring to stocks. But fear and greed represents how much people are willing to sell and how much people are willing to buy. So extreme fear means people are selling. They're afraid of stuff going down, so they're getting rid of stuff. Whereas extreme greed is everybody thinks their stock that they bought is going to go up 10x or 100x. You know, they have this euphoria, it's called. So this is a perfect time to get into the stock market. And I recommend you guys go to Robinhood, okay? Because once you get on Robinhood, which I took way too long in my life to understand this, it makes investing fun. And you guys, one thing I see with so many young entrepreneurs who get into music, they never learn how to manage money. You guys think that making $1,000 a month is dope now? You think making $10,000 a month is dope now? You forget that in 2 years, when your company takes a dip, how are you going to operate when all your expenses are up here, but your income's down here? If you didn't invest in stocks and get your money right way back 10 years ago. And I see way too many entrepreneurs, they get their pub check, for example, and they think they're balling. The first thing they do is they buy a car. So let's say you get a pub check for $250,000. The first thing they do is go buy a car. They try to buy a watch to flex on all the girls because they're trying to get a girl. You know, it's like all these emotional things that come from our childhood that we try to do as soon as we start getting money in music. And yeah, somebody might be up now riding a BMW. They might be, OG Skino, you're an emotional little brat, man. Like, shut up. Get your own channel. I said this is not financial advice. So you should have been here when I said that. You sound like a woman. You sound like a girl. We don't want little girls up in this room, metaphorically speaking. This is for grown men. Okay, so fear and greed index is all about when to get in. Extreme greed is when everybody thinks euphoria. Extreme fear is when, you know, people are afraid. And I see too many people get money in music fast because that's how music is built. They give you upfront money so that you have to survive 9 years, 10 years with the money. And now you screw up the money. So now you're coming to me trying to figure out how to do this online thing after you got your pub deal because you weren't taught financial management. Okay, so it's more than just investing in stocks, but you guys have to expose yourself to it. You know, I was lucky enough to have a mentor in 2020, in 2021. I forget all the years. Let's just say 2020, 2021, 2020, early 2022, I want to say. His name is Chris Moye. He's an entertainment lawyer for 30 plus years. And he just has been around super wealth. Something he exposed me to, like one of the first things he did was he sent me invites to all the investment platforms. He sent me an invite to Coinbase, invite to IKBR, invite to, you know, like E-Trade. You know, I can't remember all the things. Invite to, you know, what else? You know, whatever the brokerage was, he sent me an invite. And what it did was it exposed me to investing. So I was like, wow, I never thought to like put my money. I always thought, okay, stocks get 6% a year. What is that when my business can turn $1 into $6? Yes, that's right for cash purposes. But when you're trying to multiply money over time, you have to get in the market. That's how people build their wealth. There's a reason why. Let me pull up a graph here. I have a graph. Let me see. Oh, it's on my phone. I don't know if I can find it. Hopefully I can find it on my thing here. Give me a second, y'all. I don't think I retweeted it. Yeah, it's like a little, you know, BITCH activity doesn't fly over here. If we're talking money and big boy stuff, like you can get all that emotion out of the way. I really don't care. Never heard of an OG Skino anyway. All right, so let's pull up a chart real quick. He forgot I came up on Xbox Live days. Like, bro, we were in the Call of Duty lobbies before they had reporting people, before they had private chats. So I'm used to this craziness. If I could find this one picture, it'll be so explanatory, but I don't think I could find it, y'all. The long story short is America basically has all the money in the world. You know, it's like $60 trillion invested in America. I think the closest is Europe with like 15 trillion. Okay. And then China has about like 12 to 15 trillion. I don't think I reposted it, so I'm not going to find it. But the money is in America and you have to follow the money. It's similar to a keyword. If I'm trying to get people to my Type Beat channel, why would I do, you know, how to make tutorial videos about how to make a beat if nobody's looking up how to make the beat? They're looking up future type beat. You got to follow the keyword. You got to follow the data, follow the traffic. The same with money. Money is like traffic on the internet. It's like a keyword. You just follow the keywords that are going to have an upside. It's very simple. All right, so let's pull this back real quick. I have more tweets to show you guys because there's another tweet and here it is. Okay, here it is. I found it. So on top of let me read his initial. I believe this is on Truth Social, if I'm not mistaken. It says the U.S. crypto reserve will elevate this critical industry after years of corrupt attacks by the Biden administration, which is why, meaning, and I think he's referring to how the Biden administration tried to keep crypto down. If you guys don't remember, there was a lot of policy, and I believe, what's the dude's name who stepped down from, I forgot that dude's name. I got to ask Grok. Hold on one sec. Gary Gensler, is that his name? My brain just worked all of a sudden. Gary Gensler, I want to say. I'm probably saying it wrong. Gary Gensler. I'm going to figure out his name. Yeah, Gary Gensler. Okay. Let me ask Grok to summarize Gary Gensler and his crypto views. Shout out to Grok, too. That's definitely one of the best AI right now. LLMs. Okay, Gary Gensler. Let me just show you guys Grok. Gary Gensler, who served as the chair of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, from April 17, 2021 until his resignation on January 20th, 2025, has been a pivotal figure in shaping U.S. cryptocurrency regulation. Put it this way, if America can't control crypto, meaning it's decentralized, there's no one building that has all the crypto in it, it's decentralized across a bunch of nodes and computers around the world, and it has no one authority over it. If they can't control that, they have to control what are called the on-ramps. How do you get crypto? You get crypto by going to an exchange, like a Coinbase, like a Kraken, or whatever the exchange is. And so they said, if we can control how people go onto these on-ramps, we can kind of control the flow into Bitcoin so that people don't abandon the dollar. Because again, America was fighting the recent BRICS nations because they were trying to get away from the dollar being pegged to as the reserve currency of the world. If you guys don't know, America is powerful, not because of our military, but also because of our sanctions and because we have pegged the dollar to oil, meaning people trade in dollars to get oil. Okay, from what I understand. So, basically when the BRICS nations stepped up and said, we're Brazil, we're India, we're China, we are Russia, we're, whatever, South Africa, whatever it was, they're saying basically, we want to claim our independence from your rulership over the world's currency. So this is why the whole narrative is so important, that America is bringing back the perception that we control the currency. But this time it might not be the dollar, even though it is being focused on the dollar still, but it's using cryptocurrency as that focus of currency. So now basically Trump seems to want to dominate crypto so that we bring back the power back to the dollar. Okay, so reading this, it says again, okay, which is why my executive order on digital assets directed the Presidential Working Group to move forward on a crypto strategic reserve that includes XRP, SOL, which is Solana, and ADA, which is Cardano. I will make sure the U.S. is the crypto capital of the world. We are making America great again. So regardless of all the political stuff that he said, if you're just reading the room, he basically said, Bitcoin's about to go up, XRP is about to go up, Solana's about to go up, Cardano's about to go up, probably Ethereum, because I told you the companies that he is associated with that bought Ethereum. And then he puts And obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum, as other valuable cryptocurrencies, will be at the heart of the reserve. I also love Bitcoin and Ethereum. The whole goal of crypto is to figure out how to get people into crypto. And so again, if they can control the on-ramps of money, they can control the asset on a greater stance. So for example, when you guys hear about ETFs being created for Bitcoin, you're like, why is that important? It's because now the people who just put their money in a retirement account, who don't control it and tell which stocks to buy and all that, they just let hedge funds and they let financial institutions invest for them. You know, that financial permission is now given to buy Bitcoin when they buy into an ETF. So now you have people's retirement accounts. You have people's, you know, whatever other accounts they have in the world. That I always mix it up. That M2 money, the money that's not as easily liquid, but it's still value. Okay, the M2 money versus M1 money is like spendable money. M2 is like your money in your house. You can't just spend your money in your house. You have to go sell your house. You have to do a lot of stuff to move the money. So M2 money is now being focused on this Bitcoin asset. So now we're pouring in trillions of dollars into the market potentially, and that's why Bitcoin keeps rising in value. And like I said, if you get more demand and a limited supply, that means the price is going to go up. Okay. So something you guys want to understand is that fear and greed index because of that very factor. Now look at these returns in one day. Now forget this. I don't know what GON is, so forget that coin. XRP just went up 30% in a day from that news that I just showed you guys. From the president just saying that he wants to make, he wants to make crypto a strategic reserve, right? Okay, we have XRP going up 30% in a day. You know how much the market went up this past year? Let me see, S&P 500. So most people who have their stuff in, like, you know, your employer may put stuff in your IRA for you or your 401k and all that. Most of the time it's just invested in the S&P 500, which is the most common basically thing to get into the market with. Let me find a chart for you guys. Year to date, let's do 1 year. Okay, so the S&P 500, okay, in a whole year, okay, mind you, this is the most common stock that people talk about, the money sign SPY. Okay, it's called the S&P 500 index. All right, let me make sure the mic's good. Boom. Okay, the S&P 500 index, through that very specific one, nothing else but the money sign SPY. I didn't know there were so many indexes for it. Okay, this only went up 16% in the last year. 16%. Let's look at the 5-year chart. Okay, it went up 100% in 5 years. 100% is 3 times 33%. Okay, so if XRP just went up 30% in one day. Now, keep in mind, crypto was down not too long ago. Some people call it a bear trap. You know, they weren't sure where the market was going to go because of many different factors. So it's really returning back to where it was. It's not like truly up 30% from where it was. It's really just getting back to where it was. But the fact that if this just happens 3 times in 5 years, we're at the 100%. It's already 30% in one day. I'm not saying stocks will just fly up 30% in one day. This is because we have huge news. Okay. And Solana went up 25% in a day. I showed you guys in the whole year, if you had your money in the S&P 500, it only went up 16%. This already beat the market in one day. And I'm not telling you guys to look for money that moves this fast in one day because it's volatile. I don't know about wrapped ETH. I'm not educated enough. You said tell them, yeah. So Ethereum went up 12% a day. Why? Because it's already at a high price. So it's hard for Bitcoin to go up 50% in a day because it's already at almost $100,000. It's hard to get to 150,000. You know, it just doesn't happen overnight. It's kind of like when you grow a big YouTube channel, you don't just get a gazillion subscribers, a gazillion views, just every month on month, because you got to find more and more people to market to. Okay. So, you know, Cardano just went up 60% in a day. So everything I told you guys, the whole mission and purpose of this live stream is to show you that everything I showed you guys on January 19th, all the people who said we didn't know what we're talking about, why are we talking about crypto? What are meme coins? Why are we talking about Trump? Follow the effing money. If you're a man in 2025 and you don't have financial literacy, you don't know how to turn a dollar into at least $1.20, shut up. Like you're a boy. Okay. You don't know what you're doing in life. So follow men. and it will guide you. And I'm not acting like I know everything. It's just people are so hard-headed, and that's why you're stuck. Okay, so what else is there to show you? Fear and Greed Index. We showed the M1 money supply. Gary Gensler. We went over him. S&P 500. Okay, so the market cap, meaning how much money is invested in the Bitcoin, is $1.8 trillion right now. Your little $50 that you're scared to lose compared to $1.8 trillion, you can't even fathom. Why are you scared to lose money? The money is already being burnt anyway through inflation. Every time you keep $100 in your bank account, every year, the money's being burnt to 96. Next year, it's down to 92. And it just keeps burning and burning and burning and burning. It's like the biblical principle of the talents. It says, if you don't put your money to use, if you don't put your skills to use, if you don't put your talents to use, guess what's going to happen? It's going to burn and rot away. The same way, if I don't work out, I'm going to atrophy. My muscles are going to atrophy. I'm going to look like a little squid if I don't work out. So if you don't work your money out, if you don't work your brain out, if you don't work your muscles out, they will atrophy. If you're not growing, you are dying. That's the only option. Okay. So I'm trying to help you guys grow. I'm not going to make this long. We need to spend some family time today, but I'm trying to think, what else have I not covered today? Oprah Coolum, you made a weird meme. I was like, is this the Oprah Coolum I know? That was kind of weird. I had to block you on Instagram. Not because I don't like you as a person, but that was just weird. That was kind of weird. I'm like, is this, the dude who had dope beats is doing this? You gotta get a better hobby, my guy. I'm not going to ban you on YouTube, but that was weird what you did. So what else is there to show you? Okay, World Fi Liberty. Let me make sure I'm covering all my points for today. That was really the big news. Okay, so it says the announcement led to significant price increases with Bitcoin up 8%, Ethereum up 8%, which is way more than 8% now. And other assets rising. So anyway, long lesson short, follow the money. Stop being stupid. Stop listening to people who chase the wind. Look for long-term success. All you got to do is look for where the money's flowing. The same way you guys look for keywords, type beat keywords, you got to look for where the money keywords are. Crypto is the money keyword for today. All right, guys, not investing advice. Go get smart. Go get Robinhood. If at the least, put $5 into something. I figured it was a joke. Go get Robinhood. Put $5 into at least this one here called the S&P 500. Get started now. You'll love it. Once, let a year go by. You might not trust the stock market right now, but let a year go by. You're going like, wow, like, why am I keeping my money in my bank account? They're giving me 0.45%. And I just threw $5 in randomly. And after a year, I have 20%. You will realize the bank is robbing you every single day. So until you feel that for yourself, I can't really give you guys motivation. I'm going to go hang with my family. Wishing you guys well, but I had to inform you guys. Join us on Discord. It's discord.gg/busyworksbeats. I'll catch you guys. I'll respond to your comment.